So obviously, the most impressive part of Invincible are the Viltrumites, and they have a knack, a way of introducing themselves. Without a doubt, whenever they first appear, they have a way of grabbing all the attention, causing as much havoc, and creating as much bloodshed as possible. This is a violent group of people. I got a short list of all the Viltrumites who had all the craziest introduction of Invincible so far. Alright, so we gotta go right back to the very beginning, the very first episode, Omni-Man's introduction. Now obviously we saw Omni-Man before this, but when we first saw him for who he truly is of course when he conducted that massacre against the Guardians of the Globe. This was that episode, that moment that really garnered my attention for this show. I mean, the whole fight was great. I love the fact that he was absolutely silent throughout the whole fight. He is an absolute warrior. When it's time to fight, he's quiet and he's just straight to business. I love the betrayal of it all. That all those other individuals trusted him, and here he is betraying their trust by systematically killing them all one by one. The fight was great. I thought Red Rush was stupid. I thought he could have done a lot better. I love the dialogue, the whole "how are you?" and then the what was it? The fish guy goes, "I'll live," only for him not to live afterwards. I thought that the green invisible chick was useless. I mean, really, he couldn't touch you if you activated your ability, so you could have gotten away. But you know, shock and disbelief probably took over her. And I love the Wonder Woman knockoff chick. She's like a combination of Wonder Woman and Shire Hall. What is she called? Like, what's her actual superhero name? You know, Green Lantern's girl, the chick with the same little ball hammer thing. What do you call that? I don't even know. But I thought her death was cool, you know. And of course, last but certainly not least, Immortal, who will continue to take on L's from henceforth. I actually hate Immortal as a character. I don't know. I just don't like him. His whole why? And then he gets absolutely decapitated by Omni-Man's arm, which is a cool, like, that was cool, by the way, how he turns his arm into like a sword and just decapitates him. That was pretty cool. But number one, Omni-Man, his introduction was crazy, and it did not disappoint when it comes to Viltrumite introduction in this show. Next up, a character that I feel like is slept on, Lucan. Now you might be asking yourself, who's Lucan? If you're like a general fan, you don't know who Lucan is. Lucan is the black guy, the fat guy. He has two attributes about him that completely flip my understanding of Viltrumites. Black Viltrumites and fat Viltrumites? I mean, but then again, obviously, if they're natural selection, picking out the most athletic, best things, I would assume, and if they had black people in their race, I would assume the blacks would be the most dominant anyways. But yo, Lucan's introduction was absolutely crazy. I thought he was a menace. He went after Mark and the little ant people, the woman and Oliver. And his whole dialogue talking about how he finds that race of people disgusting, and how he challenges Mark. He tells him if you fight honorably, if you do great, they'll invite you into the Viltrumite force or whatever. And then him and Omni-Man fighting in that cave. But of course, the coup de grace, you know what I'm saying, a moment that sticks with me to this day, when Omni-Man slices his guts open, thinks he wins the fight, goes away with Mark, only for later to get absolutely destroyed by Lucan coming out of nowhere, drop kicking his lower lumbar, his spine, into oblivion. Oh my god. And then his line right before he collapses,
which leads me to my second rule, the double tap.
Make sure they're dead.
He goes, next time you kill someone, make sure they're dead. Oh my god, drop fucking mic. That was crazy. But yo, Lucan. Next up, a personal favorite of mine. I think this guy's kind of slept on. My man, the one-eyed savant, General Krieg, or Craig, I don't know. Yo, but I'm gonna say General Krieg, it sounds better to me. General Krieg. Now his introduction to us is, of course, or in my recollection, was right after Lucan demolishes Omni-Man's back. Pause. Mark wakes up from the shock of passing out, and he's introduced to General Krieg. I like General Krieg's no-nonsense, real serious, like no bullshit attitude and the way that he talks. I think the voice actor is cool. And he basically just explains to Mark, and you know, he tells Mark to not speak, and then Mark decides to speak, and General Krieg busts him aside his mouth to correct him. I like General Krieg because he's high ranking, even though physically he doesn't look like he should be the most high ranking of the Viltrumites. especially this race of people that base their whole society off of strength and ability. So that just goes to show how much value that General Krieg offers if he's literally like second in command to Thrag, you know? Because I honestly think that Conquest would, you know, spit on him, but hey, you know. But yeah, General Krieg. Next, this one holds a special place in my heart. You know what I'm saying? Anissa. Anissa, you know. So obviously in the comic books, she's depicted a little differently. She's a little thicker. I wish that they had brought that into the actual animation. She's a little lacking in animation, but still great. I think I have a thing for strong women. I don't know. But yo, look, Anissa's introduction was great. How she just came out of nowhere, had her hand on Mark's ex-girlfriend. I already forgot her name. She was kind of a useless character. But yo, his girlfriend's neck and threatened them. I like how she's kind of like the speedster of the Viltrumites. She's low-key seen as like the fastest among them. And I like how she's like a woman, you know what I'm saying? And she's also super serious about her job, no nonsense. She looks like she's no fun, but she's probably also secretly a freak, you know what I'm saying? Let me get back to this. But yo, and this is my favorite, and also obviously for the transgressions that she takes on later on. We know that she is in fact she didn't ask to put her hands on Mark's girlfriend's neck, and she doesn't ask to take something of Mark's later on. But yeah, Anissa, she's powerful, she's fast, she's scary, strong, and all that. And finally, as far as all the Viltrumites that we've seen so far, pretty much, Conquest. I mean, I can't not add him on here. I mean, he had one of the craziest introductions to the whole series. The best fight, period, okay? Like, I still think about the Omni-Man fight. That was a pretty great fight. I think about a lot of other fights, but the Conquest introduction and his fighting was great. All of it was great, actually. How he's like whispering into a young boy's ear about how lonely he is. That was all great. The voice acting, the character, the animation, that fight was nasty. And yeah, so those are all the Viltrumite introductions that went crazy. Obviously there's more Viltrumites to come, and I can't wait for all of them to get introduced. I'm most looking forward to some of Thrag's children and Thrag himself. Can't wait to see all those fights. Your boy, and I'm out.